we have to talk about the maryadas that are to be observed by Sahajogis. One of the things I discovered here in the West, that though we have understood the importance of Muladhara, which is a very important, and that unless and until we re-establish our Muladhara fully, we are not going to have a speedy ascent. Despite all that, still there are lingering things you see around. Like people start choosing their life partners in Sahajoga. That is not allowed. That is not allowed. You are not to spoil your ashrams, your centers, using them for a marriage searching society. You must respect. This point you must respect. If you have to marry, then you can find your life partner outside Sahajoga to begin with. But if you want to marry in Sahajoga, then you should not go on searching people in Sahajoga. It's a very dangerous thing for Sahajoga itself and for you people. That is one thing one should never try to do with Sahajogis. For all practical purposes, you are brothers and sisters. As we are now having a marriage big program, I would say that most of the marriages which were done like that are very successful than the marriages that were selected and were done. It's very wrong to do such a thing as to arrange your marriage with a Sahajogi by yourself. It will be dangerous, I don't want to say anything, but it won't turn out to be good because it is anti-God activity. Absolutely anti-God. You are supposed to develop your brahmacharya. You are supposed to develop your muladhara. Instead of that, if you start using a Sahajogini or a Sahajogi for the selection of your married life, it's going to be very, very troublesome. Your muladhara will not settle down. I mean, that's a very back stroke for your development. Because of the background and the kind of conditioning you have had, you people don't understand that it is important to maintain the purity of the centers and of every place. So any such relationship in one city is a very wrong thing. It spoils everyone. To add up to the trouble, it's a habit of people I have heard to tease others. You are looking very nice with him and you better marry. It's a kind of a romantic nonsense. Of course, for all the yogis, they have to have a brahmacharya. And many times I find that absurd relations are established. Some of them are really no good and they will really be detrimental. And some of them never are established. So if they are established, they are wrong. And if they are not established, they are heartbreaking. So all this kind of thing you should not do. We've got experiences of people who married outside and brought wonderful people to Sahajoga. If you can do it, you should do it. But if you have to marry Sahajoga yogis, you should not marry them at the cost of destroying the purity and the idealism it has. For your own sake, for your own pleasures, you should not spoil the name of Sahajoga. That is one thing I've seen. So I would say that today, as it is the day of purity between relationship, let us know that you have to treat each other as brothers and sisters. No such play should be followed. Don't allow your mind to drift into this, because if you allow, then there is no end to it. As it is, you know, it is how hard it is to bring you back to normalcy. When Christ has said, "Thou shalt not have adulterous eyes," He didn't say it because it was not practical. It is quite practical for surgeons. And there is nothing to worry about marriages so much. What is so important? So many are married and what has happened to them? Even with Sahajoga marriage, some of them have failed because of these bad habits. So you better get rid of these bad habits before marriage. Because after marriage also they go on like this and searching for boys and girls. Because if these habits are not curbed before marriage, then they go on lingering on. So one should not try to do all these things before marriage. And I have seen such marriages are never successful so far. And even if they are, it is a sort of a make-believe thing. It doesn't give real joy, it's a joyless pursuit. Try to bring down your egos, super-egos. You must learn to please me. Prasanno bhave. Devi prasanno bhave. If you cannot make the Devi prasanna, what will be your achievement? As Rustam says, I am Mahamaya. All right. But don't you know that I am that? So try to keep to it and keep that understanding that if you have to grow, we must have proper relationship with mother. And we must understand what will displease her the most. Am I pleasing her by doing this? It would be killing. It would be absolutely killing Sahajoga if you do not keep your Maryada. That is one of the most essential things one has to do. We are all prophets and prophets have to behave like prophets. They cannot behave like cheap type people. So in that we have to understand the Maryada. You have to develop that feeling of a sister because that's how your sublimity will go, your left Vishuddhi will improve, your Vishnu Maya will be satisfied. If you call somebody a sister, the sisterly and daughterly relationships and motherly relationships always bring down, you see, the so-called ego which is hiding in the left Vishuddhi. Alright, whatever it is now, the second thing is that the Maryadas of relationships between you is a relationship of pure love, of purity. Unless and until you develop pure relationship, you are going to be ruined. See, this finger has to have pure relationship with this hand. Supposing this finger has some dirty feelings about this hand, it may dirty it. It may spoil it. In the same way, we should have extremely pure relationships with each other. Means we should try to give our heart to another person without any lust or greed in it. That we should try to help each other. I find when they feel in a lusty way or a greedy way attached to others, this is not for the Sahajogis but non-Sahajogis, they get so much interested in that person. It's a very baser way of attachment. But in Sahajoga, your attachment is with your spirit, with your Atma. And Atma is the purest form of our being. We have to keep it absolutely pure. And then the enjoyment is higher than any romance, any marriage, any worldly thing. It's the highest and the top. First achieve that. First of all, you should arise and achieve that. Achieve that purity. That is very important. This is the Ganesha principle which acts on Vishuddhi Chakra, where whatever communications we have a sister's relationship and a mother's relationship. Krishna also had a foster mother, as you know. And the relationship with him was exactly like her own son. So if you call somebody as a mother, it has to be absolutely pure relationships. So there are 3 types of relationships with the women. One is that of a mother, another of a sister or a daughter, and another is of a wife. So apart from ego and superego, the worst thing that has happened to these modern societies is that they have lost their innate understanding of purity. That innate understanding in Sahajoga now you have got it. So try to develop it and flower it. So the fragrance of that innocence will make each other very happy. And such a kind of a security, a kind of a very pure, beautiful feeling that I have somebody to protect me. And this beautiful feeling, if is nurtured, looked after in a wider way in Sahajoga, then you feel absolutely secure. But in Sahajoga, we marry for our ascent. We have to respect our marriages and to respect our chastities with our brothers and sisters. Those people who try to somehow or other ruin the purity of collectivity, I assure you, will be in very great trouble henceforth. I think every sort of divine punishment comes after every period. And now I have started feeling, with my experience, that any such absurd manifestation of impurity, I need not say anything about it. There is a divine punishment, and of a very horrible nature. Now I've got 3-4 experiences, and I think it has already started. It's nice. Today is the day when I can talk to you about it. I can't help it. I think periodically some new ideas of punishments have been started by this divine power. And for people who behave like this, I have seen there are terrible things. So please do your soul searching. Find out if there are any impure feelings, try to throw them away. And know that you are not possessed by such funny ideas. If you start developing a deeper understanding, then you will not be attracted by superficial things. And you won't be distracted from your path. You have got, of course, realization. You have got great qualities. You are not even aware as to what you got so easily. You got the knowledge also so easily. Didn't have to go to any college or anything. And you are capable of so many things. But remember that the power that is within you is cleverer than you. And anything you try to do which is not correct, which is not righteous, which is not holy, it will try to correct you. Pure relationships are so fragrant and so beautiful. I really enjoy you people because you have such pure relationships among yourselves and such understanding. May God bless you.